Lori from Cook Scrap Craft, and today I have another process video for you. This one, I don't know about you. Maybe this probably says a lot about how much I enjoy the hobby of scrapbooking. This layout came to me in a dream. Do you guys ever dream about scrapbook pages or whatever your choice of craft is, card making, DIY stuff? Do you ever dream about wood signs or anything like that? It happens to me quite often. And sometimes I actually don't, it's so vivid in the dream, and then I wake up and I'm like, oh, that was a really cool layout that I was dreaming about, but I just can't really visualize it now that I'm awake. But with this one, I did remember pretty well what it was, because the background was a rainbow. In my dream, I guess I had, as I'm doing here, stamped a rainbow using the different colored inks, and they were big, thick, solid lines of the rainbow colors, and then there was like a border going around the white cardstock, just to give it some extra oomph. And I think I had like some photos at the bottom, or like one photo at the bottom. And as I was, I did sketch it out when I woke up, because I was like, I should really do this. I should try this in real life. And as I was like sketching it out, like I thought, oh, it would be cool if there were some stars on there. So I thought I should like do it with a stencil. And of course, if you're doing it with a stencil, the stars are going to be the solid color. You're not going to get the solid color with white stars. And that's okay. So that's what I ended up doing. I think I will try this again. And what I will do is take my We Are Memory Keepers little punch, because you can move that around the page. It's not a border punch or like a normal shape punch. It's the top and the bottom. I've used it before in a layout. The top and the bottom come apart, and you put the bottom under the page, you put the top on top of the page, and then punch. So it makes it really easy to get shapes in the middle of a 12 by 12 piece of paper. So I think I might try that next time and just do solid color, stamps, or use misting sprays or something, and then punch out the shapes with that. I only have it in a heart shape, so instead of stars, I would have to do hearts, but I still think that would look really cool. And then put that, if that was on like a white cardstock, then I would, you'd have the shapes punched out, and you'd have to have something, a different color or something coming up beneath it, maybe a black. I'm not sure. Now I'm trying to like visualize how I would want this to look. Anyway, or maybe just put it on white, because then you'd have the solid colors around it. I'll have to play around with that. So stay tuned for another weird rainbow dream process video thing. Okay, so the colors that I'm using are obviously the colors of the rainbow. I didn't do Roy G. Biv because I only had one color of purple. So it's Roy G. Biv or Roy G. Biv, or Roy G. Bip, because indigo violet, I don't know, it's just purple. So Roy G. P with a P at the end. But these are all from Hampton Art. Those are the ink pads. And I did have some coordinating ink daubers for those colors. This was actually something that was from my mom's scrapbook stash. And she had kind of like marked which color dauber belonged with which stamp thing. But for the ones that I didn't have a coordinating dauber, I used my Scrapbook.com daubers, because those little puffy things, they Velcro onto the wooden base. And so you just take them off, and then you can clean them and use them for whatever color you want later. So those worked out really, really well. And I did use some washi tape just to kind of keep the stencil steady as I was inking it. That's sometimes a problem when I try to use stencils. If you don't kind of adhere it down, it can kind of get all wonky, and then your stuff gets messed up. So anyway, so I'm just doing red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. And this is a Simple Stories stencil. And I think it's just called Starry Night. I think it's called Starry Night. And I got it from Paper Issues. I'm not sure if it's still in stock there. You might also be able to find it on scrapbook.com. But I actually got it last year, because or earlier this year maybe. I have no idea. But I wanted to use it to do some Halloween layouts. I just really liked the look of the stars. They're not all the same shape. Some of them are bigger, some of them are smaller, and they're not like perfect stars. They've got kind of a funkiness to them that I really liked. And so that's what's going to show up on this page here. Now the background is a Vicky Bouton Foundations paper, which I always like to use. That's my first choice for the mixed media stuff because it's a thicker cardstock. It's going to hold up a little bit better. Yeah, and it is 12 by 12, and you can see, you know, I wasn't sure how big I was going to make the rainbow strips, the rainbow colors. And so like originally in my dream, it almost was like in the middle, very middle of the 12 of a maybe like a 10 by 10 piece of white cardstock. And I just wasn't feeling like measuring and trying to figure all that out. So I said, you know what, I'm going to like offset it because maybe I want it to be offset. I was going to use a photo strip of paper that I had, or photo strip of photos that I had printed from Persnickety Prints. So that's kind of, it's very vertical, obviously. It's a photo strip. And so that's what I wanted to use, and I thought maybe I would either cut the photos individually and have like just small little photos to go at the bottom of the rainbow, or I would have it go on the side. Now, of course, I said I didn't want to measure, but here I am measuring because I'm trying to make sure that I'm getting this to be pretty even. I was trying to do like an even square, and then I felt like there was too much white space. So as you can see, I didn't stick to exactly what was in my dream or what I sketched out from my dream. But I do still like the effect because you've got this great big rainbow going on in the background. And there's my photo strip. My daughter is obsessed with Instagram filters. And so sometimes I let her play with my phone and she makes silly videos. We don't post them on Instagram. They just get saved to my camera roll. And sometimes she does silly photos. And so these were some of the ones that I thought were the funniest, that really captured all the different filters that she likes. The one that makes your mouth big. There's the you know, everyone's favorite, the cat one. One has like hearts and Cupid arrows shooting at you. And then the last one's like a silly face one, and it makes your like nose and eyes look really big and weird. So, yeah. Now, to go along with the rainbow, I had a bunch of American Crafts phrase thickers, and those were part of possibly Amy Tangerine Brave and Bold. I think they were supposed to kind of coordinate, or maybe they were Paige Evans. Now I don't know, but it doesn't matter because they all were in rainbow colors. And so I really wanted to have a title that went along with the rainbow colors that I stamped. And so it's a long title because obviously I had to have 6 words or 7 words. No, 6 words. I can't count. And I needed it to sort of make sense. So it says, this one favorite time of yours, because those were all the words that were in the proper colors and that sort of made sense together. And it does kind of make sense because this is my daughter's favorite time, when she gets to play on my phone and do weird Instagram filters. And no, we don't have Snapchat. You know, I'm not going to download Snapchat just so my kid can make weird filter stuff. She's fine with what's available on Instagram. And it's really been interesting because since she started doing it, we've discovered a lot more filters and how to find more filters through Instagram. So there have been a lot of new ones added, and it's been really interesting to see how technologically advanced she is to be able to navigate my phone without me supervising. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but anyway. So I'm trying to get the title, each color word to line up with the color in the rainbow stamp thing. So it's a big one, but yeah, this one favorite time of yours. And I will, of course, I'm laying things down because I'm trying to get an idea of where I want them and trying to find the right kind of embellishments. I actually change things up a little bit, and even at the very end of this video, you'll be like, oh, that's an interesting design, and then I change it up again before I take the pictures of the layout. So there was a little cut there because I didn't think you needed to see me glue down all the sequins that I was using, but I did pull some sequins from my stash and just kind of added it to the rainbow stamping just for some extra added dimension and shine. And so all the sequins kind of coordinated with the colors that were there. And I use mini glue dots, or they're called, it's the Zotz brand that I use, and I like the small petite glue dots because those are great for the sequins. So here you go. See, I already changed things up. The photo strip of paper is now kind of lower down, and I like that better because I think it works better. It creates more of a diagonal. So my embellishment cluster that's going to be on the side there is going to be a little bit lower. I'm adding a little bit of an embellishment cluster at the very low corner there, and that's going to diagonal down from what I'm doing at the very top corner. And that thing up at the very top is a big sticker from Vicky Booten. It was part of a sticker pack, which is a great sticker pack, and I absolutely love the way it looks. Get ready, because I'm going to peel it up like numerous times. This, even though I dreamt about this video, you're probably like, wow, this is a much longer scrapbook process video than normal. And it is, because I had to do the mixed media, and then I just had trouble figuring out where to put things. And maybe it was also because I was just pulling random embellishments from my stash. I didn't have a lot of coordinated stuff. I wasn't using one particular collection or a coordinated kit. So I was trying to figure out, like, I had things that I wanted to use, and I was trying to figure out how to make it all work. It was a tough one. It was a tough one to put together. And I did cut out some of the process, because a lot of it was me like going through my embellishments, trying to figure out what should I use, what goes with this. I just didn't think you needed to see all of that. But I will tell you that that was part of the process. It was funny. I'm in a Facebook group for the Scrapbook Generation store, which is also based in Missouri. And what they had a daily question: how long does it take you to complete a layout? And I said, you know what, on average, it probably takes me like 20 to 30 minutes, because usually, like, maybe I'll start with a sketch, or I already have an idea of what I want to do before I sit down, or I'm using, like, the Chamel Best of Both Worlds kit, so I can already say, these are all the products that I'm going to use. Chamel has already made sure they go together, so there's not a whole lot of thought process, because I've already done the thinking before I sit down. But this one, oh boy, I take that back, how I can usually get a layout done in 20 to 30 minutes, because for this one, it took a really long time. This whole process video is about 17 minutes, but it took me much longer. This is sped up and with stuff cut out. And obviously, I had to let the ink dry, so I did that in the morning, and then I came back in the evening to try to finish this up. I also did this for a Paper Issues challenge. They had a July challenge that was kind of travel themed, and so there was a challenge called Pack Your Bags, and they required you to use 5 things, or to pack 5 things from their list on your layout. So I used blue, green, clouds, stripes, and I considered the rainbow stamping to be stripes. I don't know, that's my interpretation. And oh boy, it was a doozy. I think just doing this second half of the layout took about almost a whole hour, because I was also watching a Scrapbook Live in the Paper Issues Facebook group. And yeah, so it took me almost the whole hour to figure it out. Oh man, and sometimes that happens. I don't know, how long does it take you guys to usually do a scrapbook layout if you're a scrapbooker? Because sometimes, man, with the mixed media, it just adds a challenge, and when you're trying to stash bust, it's just crazy. So some of the things I have used is a sticker from a Simple Stories or Photo Play. It was a Disney themed thing. I think it was Photo Play. So I used a sticker from that. I used some Pretty Little Studio ephemera piece. I'm using some Amy Tangerine Brave and Bold. Those rainbow stickers, I cannot remember. I think that's Reminisce. I think that's who makes that big rainbow sticker, Reminisce. So I wanted to use, because I had the rainbow stamping, I wanted to use a rainbow sticker, duh, even though it's not the same colors. And I had it up at the top there, and you can see that I moved it. And so I've kind of got like a half circle cluster on the right-hand side, and then just up from it, I have a half circle cluster, the rainbow, on the upper side. And so I do really like the way that works, and I think it frames the photo strip a little bit better, especially with the added dimension of some of the extra stickers and the embellishment clusters that are going on there. And so now I'm going to adhere my title, because I already have all the sequins and other things down, the photos where I want it to be. So I kind of changed up the placement a little bit from what you saw before. So this one favorite, Time, those all go down in a diagonal. Of goes up a little bit, and then again down on the diagonal is Yours, and that crosses over onto the photo just a little bit. I used to not like having anything touch my photos. I used to be the kind of scrapbooker who had a photo, and I don't even know what my embellishment technique was, but I never wanted to put stickers or stuff on the photo. And now I'm all about that, because in normal design, when you're reading magazines and stuff, that's how they do it, And so that's I really like the way that looks. So I don't have a problem covering up parts of my photo with stickers and letters and that type of thing. So I'm just adding a couple. There were some little like colored dots, almost you could say like enamel dots, but they were just the little thicker dots. I'm just adding those into the stamped stars, and then once again messing with that thing up at the top, because what happened was I had done my journaling on that Pink Fresh journaling spot, and then it didn't really fit well in the embellishment cluster where I had said I was going to put it, because I wasn't thinking, and part of the words got covered up. And what's the point of doing journaling if your words are going to get covered up? So I had to move it. I still wanted to use it. I'm adding some Pretty Little Studio stitched sticker that makes it look like there's some stitching on your page, and then a Reminisce border sticker down at the bottom, and then I'm bringing that same Reminisce sticker up at the top. Unfortunately, I'm all out of the Pretty Little Studio stitched stickers, but I really do like those, and I got those at scrapbook.com. Okay, so we have like 2 more minutes left. There was another little cut so that you didn't have to like watch me, search through all my embellishments. I'm trying to create the embellishment cluster up at the top. What you see here is not what you're gonna see in the finished layout. So please stick with me for this last, minute and 20 seconds, because the close-ups are going to follow, and you will see how I change things up yet again. And that's one of the good things about using good quality cardstock, especially like the Vicki Boutin stuff. If you put a sticker down and you peel it up, it's not going to make a difference. So, sometimes it's okay to do like the thin papery pattern paper, but a good quality cardstock, especially if you have a process like this or a layout like this where you're like constantly changing things, you don't like what you've done, you want the good quality cardstock so that little tears and rips are not going to happen. So anyway, thank you so much for sticking with me through this layout. I know it's a long one. I'm sure next week's will not be as long. And I'm also trying to come up with some different series that I can do to offer a little bit more specific inspiration as opposed to just a general process video. But I will have linked below the link to the Paper Issues Facebook group, because they've got a whole new set of challenges for this month. And if you have any questions about the products I used, the techniques I did, leave those in the comments. If you haven't subscribed already, click that subscribe button so you don't miss out on when the next process video goes live. See you next time. Bye!